In today's video, I'm going to talk about a new grunge supergroup that dropped a surprise album a few days ago. So the album is called Third Secret and has members of Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam. So a few days ago, I heard about this grunge supergroup that came out, and I didn't really give them a listen at first. I saw some articles that were announcing it. I didn't really read any of the articles. I was kind of busy doing some other stuff, so I kind of forgot about it at first. But then I thought, okay, I finished my videos. Let me, check out this album. And I basically listened to the album while I was folding laundry, and I didn't really research the band at all. So I went into it not knowing what to expect. So what I did know was that it featured members of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden. And I knew Chris Novoselic was in it because he's the only surviving member besides Dave Grohl. And I know it's not a Dave Grohl band. And I remember seeing Kim Thayil from Soundgarden, but that's pretty much all I knew going into it. So I listened to the first song, and it was different than I was expecting. I was expecting something grungier or heavier, something more along the lines of a Soundgarden, but it was laid back acoustic rock. Then the vocals come in. I didn't even know it was a female vocalist, at first going into this, but the vocalist kind of at first reminded me of Courtney Love. So I'm thinking, is this Courtney Love? But I'm thinking no, because they probably would have promoted her if she was on this. And I don't know if Courtney and Chris Novoselic are really on good terms or so. That's probably not it. And then I'm listening to the album and I'm thinking maybe this is Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless. So she kind of has a voice similar to that, that Courtney Love kind of grunge style. And I do remember her doing a song with Kim Thayil and Matt Cameron on her last album with The Pretty Reckless. So I'm thinking, okay, this must be Taylor Momsen. So I listened to the whole album, and then when I'm done, I thought, I got to go online. I got to see who this actually is. So it's neither of them. It's two female singers, and they are Jillian Ray, and she's also in Chris Novoselic's other rock band called Giant in the Trees, which I didn't even know existed, and then another female singer called Jennifer Johnson, who was kind of fairly unknown, but a very good vocalist. So basically this band consists of Chris Novoselic from Nirvana, Matt Cameron, he played in both Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, and Kim Thayil, he's the he's the guitarist for Soundgarden, and they rounded it out with another guitarist called Bubba Dupree. So it is a fairly large band. There's a lot of different influences in the songwriting, and let me talk about the songs now. So the first song is called Rhythm of the Ride. I was actually surprised to hear this because it's just acoustic guitar at first. But then I heard the female vocals, and like I said before, I'm thinking it's either Taylor Momsen or Courtney Love. It has that type of style in the vocals. It's very mellow indie folk, but there are also some 90s grunge tones as well. They play some of those minor chords, and it gives it that grungy tone, but it's just vocals and acoustic guitars and without any drums. So that's the first song. Next song, I Choose Me, was a little more of what I was expecting. Kind of has this dirty guitar riff and with a full band playing. Now the vocals made me think of the band Hole, and I was kind of thinking of Courtney Love at first. That's why, but the guitar tone kind of gave it a later day Soundgarden type of sound. I think they're tuned down. The riff is wow, 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 something like that. And if you like grunge, you like the song. Last Day of August. This one has an opening riff. It reminded me a little of Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box, but as the song progressed, it kind of had a very original sound. Song was a mix of that grunge and indie folk with acoustic guitars dominating the sound, with some slightly electric guitars in the background, but the guitar tone was kind of similar to maybe Pearl Jam. Winter Solstice. This one had an intro. It reminded me of that late 80s band called Badlands, and the song in question is actually called Winter's Cold. It reminded me of that. Another song dominated by the acoustic guitars, giving it this folky grunge sound, but not too bad. Lies Fade Away. This one has more a Pearl Jam type of sound with the electric guitars playing the main riff. Now the opening riff sounded a little Black Sabbath, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, something like this. So this song moves at a mid-pace. The guitars have like a dirty, distorted tone similar to like classic grunge songs. And I do like the guitar solo, kind of uses the like wah-wah effect in it. Live Without You, it's a shorter song, under 3 minutes, another folk rock type of song mixed with like these grungy undertones. I thought this one was pretty catchy, maybe a little bit better, than the other songs. It reminded me of like the band Days of the New, but with a female singer. Right Stuff starts with an accordion, and the first thing I thought of was that Pearl Jam song like Bugs from the Vitality album, but not that bad. It kind of has like this like carnival type of sound, but cool song, very laid back, still retains that 90s vibe. Dead Sea, an acoustic folk rock song, very relaxing. I think it's like the first song where I like was able to distinguish like the two female vocalists. You do hear them both singing clearly on the song. Diamond in the Cold, a more like upbeat rocker, kind of like a grungy guitar riff. Has a very like down on the upside era Soundgarden type of song, like a playing some pretty cool those like chromatic riffs. And I think the song stands out amongst the others. It has more of that classic sound and kind of that sound I was expecting. Somewhere in Time has more of like a Pearl Jam or Hole type of sound with that driving guitar rhythm and like those like Courtney Love style vocals. Another song that stands out, has a very 90s grunge sound. Final song on the album is called The Yellow Dress. Also the longest song is 7 minutes. This one starts with acoustic guitars playing a slow rhythm. You hear both vocalists very well. The song changes its pace and then go into more like a faster paced acoustic folk song. The song goes through a few tempo changes as it moves along, has some more atmospheric sections, and it's a long song, 7 minutes, but it's a pretty cool closer. So, in conclusion, going into this album, if you're expecting like a Pearl Jam or Soundgarden or Nirvana album, that's not what you're gonna get. It still has some of those elements, but the sound is very unique. If I had to compare it to like a grunge band, it did remind me a little of the band Hole, but that was just because of the vocals. Again, it reminded me a lot of Courtney Love. But other than that, it was a very unique sound. The songs were all good. The album might take some time to grow on me. I thought it was decent, but we'll see if my thoughts change, if I listen to it a little more in a few weeks. But my score for now, 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was decent. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So weekend's coming up. I have something on my community tab to vote on what album you want me to review. The one I am going to do is Semblant, a Brazilian metal band. But there were a few others. Probably most likely I will do the new Nazareth album. That's the one that's getting the most votes so far. So that's it. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.